So as you said, running for judge, this is a special election coming up. Tell us first, before I even get into the disparities and the a lot of Philadelphia exonerees are coming out. Tell us the importance of the special election for judges that people don't realize.
That's right. That's right.
Well, one of the things that people don't realize is since you guys have had every type of candidate on, probably outside of the presidential, because they're afraid to come to talk to us.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're dealing with the governor, the president, the mayor,
Right.
if you look at their office themselves, how do they really affect your daily life? They don't.
That's right.
Who affects your daily life? Who gets to tell you whether or not you can see your son every day or every other weekend for 2 hours a day with a security guard watching you?
Wow.
Who else get to tell you whether or not you have 30 days to leave your property?
Yeah, yeah.
You're going to be locked out. Who else has the ability to say your sentence is 20 to 40? Life
Football
in prison.
numbers, yeah.
And we're talking about someone who affects your life those ways, but more importantly, a judge can also sentence you to death. The governor can't do it. The president can't do it. The mayor can't do it. None of those people who we elect and we have all the big turnouts for
Right.
can affect your life daily. The policies and stuff may influence your life, but they can't affect your life. You're talking about, I'm telling you right now today, you walk into court, you walking out in handcuffs.
Yeah.
We're talking about you have your son, we're taking your son from you, giving it back to the mother, whomever, right then in the courtroom.
Right.
We're talking about you going in, knowing that you had a home over your head, to having nothing, to being homeless. That's what a judge has to impact. But we don't think about judges that way.
Yeah.
And the sad part is, and this is the part that a lot of people don't know, but being in the system for over 30 years now, from a public defender in Dade County, Florida, to being a law clerk for 10 years for Joel Johnson in family court, to being in private practice also for 20 years, is not a portion of courts that they can put me in that from day one, I'm not ready to be able to be on the bench and understand what needs to be done to be treated fairly and justly in a courtroom. Unfortunately, in the city of Philadelphia, major cities in particular, when the judges are elected, typically they put them where people matter the less. You hear about how these judges, when you go to CJC and a person gets sentenced, and you'll hear people in the hallway, well, that judge never practiced criminal law. Well, why then would they put that judge in there? We have civil law. Why not put them over there?
Yeah.
They get their
Right.
practice with our life. They get the practice with our children's lives. They get the practice. When they didn't have an opportunity to learn and sharpen their tools before that, they get to learn once they become a judge with our lives, because our lives, again, don't matter. When you think about civil court, judges are moved out of civil court when they mess with that money.
Yeah.
When them big firms say we have a medical malpractice where we're looking at $100 million settlement and the judge messed that up, that judge is gone. That judge is not going as quickly when a person is, like you were talking about exonerated people coming home,
Yeah.
when a person isn't found guilty by a judge who let evidence in that shouldn't be let in. A judge who would not declare a mistrial because the evidence was not right. That judge is not going to be moved from criminal court. That judge may be applauded for doing what they're doing.
Interesting. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can you tell, for our people that are watching, like, what are some of the things that you feel like separates you from the other candidates that are running?
Well,
I mean, if you know,
I got
them
very,
and
very
their...
simple. It's one thing I can say that's very simple. When you ask, because everybody grew up, some of us grew up in projects, some of us didn't. Some of us grew up in single family homes, some of us didn't. We all went to law school. We all took the bar. We all practiced some type of law. Again, if you're going to be put in the proving ground where it deals with our lives, you want someone who knows how to deal with our lives when they come in. For example, imagine you have a kid who was 16 years old, possession with intent to deliver. Now, 10th and Brown, we've been 11th and Brown, 801C Justice Place in Richard Island. 10th and Brown was a known notorious drug corner. Suppose I walk down to the corner and I'm just shaking somebody's hand, friends of mine are there, and I'm standing, I'm just looking up and down the street. A court can say, I'm a lookout. That means I'm a conspirator to a drug activity because I'm from the neighborhood, I know people in the neighborhood, and I know how easy things can happen. So I'm looking up and down the street. No candidate can tell you this part of life because no candidate knows this part of life like me.
Right.
So now he's 16 years old. Whether he was selling drugs or not is irrelevant. The fact that he was adjudicated delinquent for selling drugs at 16. Then at 18, he's again arrested and convicted of selling drugs. You heard me say adjudicated at 16, convicted at 18. Why is that important? He has 4 points on his record. The number only goes up to 5. At 18 years old, you got 4 points on your record. 4. So imagine now at 40. Is that 16, 18-year-old the same person at 40? Typically
Absolutely
not.
not.
Typically not. But the sentencing guidelines give you some wiggle room if you understand who you have in front of you.
Right.
So if you have a person now, when he comes in, he says, listen, Judge, I know I made a mistake, but I have a family at home. I have a mortgage. I work at SEPTA. I work at whoever, the city. I'm paying car notes. I'll take my kid to football practice. There's no way in hell I can send that person to prison. I couldn't do it. 1 day in prison could have that man lose everything. Not only he loses everything, but his family loses everything.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a judge that have that sympathy and understanding, that person goes away to jail. I ran for judge the first time because of this same incident. I had a guy who I represented who was 22 years old. He has some simple possession, marijuana possession as a juvenile. That's the extent of his record. He had a domestic case. And I don't take kindly domestic. I didn't grow up in domestic violence situations, so I don't take kindly to it. But what he did do is, after him and his girlfriend had an argument in the car, he called his mother. He took the girl to his mother's house. They had to sit down immediately with his mother and cried in front of his mother. For a black man, what did that mean to me? What did that mean to you, Shiz? I got the punishment that the courts couldn't give me. I had to admit to my mom I did something to my mom.
Yeah.
Cried in front of his mom. His mom took the girl home. The DA forced the girl to come, made her come to court, and the judge sent him to jail for 6 months.
Oh, wow.
You mean to tell me that's a kid that needs to go to jail for 6 months?
Right.
We're not talking about the crime. We're talking about the punishment.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about how do I distinguish myself from them? I know. I have kids who may not eat, and we feed our kids every Friday and Saturday. So the day before the game, like in college, they gave us the meal. That's what we do for our kids to get them understand. This is what happens in college. On Friday, you're going to have a meal table. You're going to get to eat pasta, this, that, and the third. After a game, you're going to be able to eat properly. Now, I can't tell you what the kid may eat for the rest of the week. Salt, pepper, ketchup, chicken wings, 3 on the side. I don't know. I don't know if that's what you're going to have for the rest of the week. But you got to understand who you're dealing with to really be able to aid them. The criminal justice system have a lot of resources. But if you don't understand what a person needs to use the resources, there is no rehabilitation.
Right.
Because we constantly hear about people hurting people. We have a lot of incest, a lot of molestation. We have a lot of things that go on with these kids in our community. And then at 16, 17, we want to call these kids monsters and villains and the like. How?
Yeah.
And if you can't see that person for that person, you'll never be able to judge that person properly.